as possible while the momentum's there, while it's fresh in your heart. And I also want to emphasize that I'm not a therapist, I'm not a counselor, I'm a coach. And what coaches know is that the answer for everything that you're looking for in life is always inside of you. So Sarah figured out a ton of shit without me doing anything really besides you reaching out, right?
Yeah.
So she knows everything. She's doing her own healing process. You guys have this within you to do as well. By coming on and sharing, that's the first step. So would you agree?
Yes. Yeah, it was even just talking to you up front was good for me.
Good.
Yeah.
Good, I'm glad. And is there, to anyone that's gone through, I mean, I think that if you are one of those gentlemen, you're not a fucking gentleman, you're a monster, I'm sorry. If you're putting drugs in women's drinks, you're a piece of shit. To me, you're the scum of the earth. And whether or not, as much as I want to be an advocate for mental illness, if you know what you're doing and you know you're taking advantage of people's bodies, this is their temple. And 10 years, like look at Sarah, she's still affected by this. So hopefully you smarten the fuck up. But for anyone that's potentially out there at the bars and maybe this has happened to them, maybe it hasn't, what messages do you have that you want to pass on to other women that are going sort of living the same past life that you lived, that they could potentially help them avoid something like this, if at all possible? I mean I think there are a lot of people out there. I know of 2 bars where bartenders have been caught slipping things into people's drinks. Not in bartenders.
Bartenders.
Okay, so bartenders,
this is
people.
Even, which I don't understand because you're not the one that's going to be spending the night with them.
No, unless they're sitting there at the stool at the end of the night.
Yeah, and I'm talking about bars where there are no stools at the, I'm talking about more of a club setting where I don't understand that.
Do you know what it is that they're slipping in these drinks?
The one was they actually found out for the police. I was at a bar one night. Bad shit happened to me. I was also drunk that night, but nothing bad shit in that terms happened to me. Okay. But I was with the police that night, and they were trying to get me to go to the hospital, and I was like, I'm fine. Like, my ankle hurts. That's it. Like, I'm fine. I, brushed it off, and then I found out months later that they knew what bar I was at that night. They had undercover cops there, and they were trying to get solid evidence to be able to prosecute because the bartender there and eventually it was caught. I do know of a bar that it has been brought to their attention on multiple occasions.
And the guy still works there?
Yeah,
that's not okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's not okay.
And it's funny because I know one person that brought it forward to them, and they've known that person their entire life, the owners of the bar. So They know they're not making it up. And he ended up drinking his girlfriend's drink, and he was sober at the time. She didn't want the end of her drink. She was like, I ordered too many, I can't have this. He was driving, but he was like, okay, I'll drink it. One drink, drove, but didn't end up driving home because of how off he felt.
Really?
And then he was like, I had one drink and I was blacked out. I don't remember anything that happened, all that stuff. And then that time period, other people were coming around with the same effects, and it was brought to the owner's attention, and they didn't do anything about it. And that guy, to this day, the last time I was at that bar, still works there. Really? So I just I tell people to
don't get your drinks from him. So I mean, it's one thing because in a past life when I was spending 5 days a week at a bar, I don't know if I ever got drugged because I was fucking myself up so much anyway. But I know it was common to always make sure that women watch a woman's drink and you watch. Yeah. But what do you do?
Hand over your drink.
But what if when it's the bartender? Like you can't. Yeah, how do you do that?
I
don't know what advice to give there. Obviously, be as cautious as you can, but maybe make them make the drink right in front of you.
I would say, if possible, order from a woman. I truly feel that there'd be less women out there drugging
other women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I could be wrong. And I don't know if...
And men get drugged too, I'm sure, but...
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, order from a woman, watch keep watch while they're making their drink for you.
Make sure that they don't turn their back, and maybe say, "Look, you turned your back. I didn't see. I didn't see you drink. I didn't see you making my drink during that time."
Bar rails at the front of a bar for a purpose, and
Sure.
it's not just for ease of the bartender.
Sure.
It is so that everything is made in front of you.
Yeah.
So that's something to watch. Cover your drinks. I know that there was a college out in the States that was making nail polish. You could stick your finger in, and if it changes color.
I don't know if that ever went through, though, did it?
I don't know, but I think it should.
Yeah.
That's something
I think that'd be
really
great, too, just to check it every time. Yeah. I think that's phenomenal.
If that can actually get marketed and get on there, then, I'd be handing out bottles of nail polish to people.
Sure. I think you should give it at the door.
Yeah.
Why not, right? Like, pay your cover charge, get a bottle of nail polish.
Or, they'll paint one of your fingers.
Exactly.
Put a little slab on it. And
maybe that's your your entryway into the bar instead of the stamp.
Good.
Just paint a certain fingernail.
That would be a good thing for a bar to do.
Yeah. There you go. So there's some ideas. Some great messages here. And I actually have a bartender coming on tomorrow, so I'll ask him what he suggests.
Yeah.
Because this is really, obviously, something that isn't new.
Yeah, no. This happened to me 10 years ago. So.
Yeah, sure. But even without the drugs, it could be just a woman or a man drinking too much. And, obviously we say it's easier to take advantage of a woman because a man might not be able to get a hard on, right? Like if they've drunk too much, it's just...
Yeah, but you can still do other things to them that wouldn't be,
Yeah, sure. No, I still agree completely. I try to keep it as gender neutral as possible while we're talking. But there is difference in physiology that we have to be aware of as well.
Yep.
So, any last messages before we go? I think we did a really good job here. And again, you're very strong to come on here to share your story. I can't appreciate it enough. Even 10 years after the fact, is it still hard to talk about?
Here and there.
Yeah.
Depends on what I talk about. When there's certain things that I can talk about at one point and I'm completely fine, and then I'm talking about it with somebody else and I'm like, I can, things start coming up, and it's weird things. It's things like from the aftermath, mainly, like talking about how, a little bit of relationships with my brother and my dad changed because of, just the way I felt about a situation, which wasn't necessarily true.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So relationships changed.
Yeah.
Okay. So obviously there's going to be some changes that happen and not necessarily, usually never for the good.
Yeah.
Right. So, okay. All right, guys. Well, I think that wraps everything up. So thank you very much for joining us, Sarah.
No problem.
And I hope that if you guys are questioning anything that you've ever gone through right now, Sarah is available to chat. I'm available to chat, and we will see you tomorrow. Okay.
Right.
Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, no problem.
Thanks, guys.